so from your perspective, from where you sit and from your office, what is at stake in this November 5th election?
My name is State Representative Derisha Parker of the 198th District, and I'm absolutely having a very black moment. When we're talking about what's at stake, I know Chairman Harris is probably going to run. I will talk about women. I'll talk about women issues, women lives. Women should know that we are on the ballot. We are on the ballot every 6 months, but I'm sharing with you and I'm saying it with passion. I try to say it with humor, to talk about something that people may not be aware of the sound of paper towels, and the sound of socks, and the sound of newspapers that are extremely unsanitary. And when we're gonna say what is at stake, that we're saying that if we don't do what we're supposed to do and make sure individuals that look like us are on the ticket, then we're gonna have a different conversation. So I will tell you that women, our lives, our children, our livelihood, our sanity is at stake this election and beyond.
My name is Ariana Andrew Abney. I am state representative. I represent all of my neighbors in the 19th State House Legislative District, which is in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. For me, in a big picture sense, what is on the ballot is access to opportunities for folks in our communities. And what that looks like is, as state government, it's really important for us to have a good working relationship with our federal government. And the administration matters. Who is in leadership? Who has secretaries of different departments at the federal level? How funding gets pushed down from the federal government to the state government really matters. And the administration is going to be very important in terms of how state government can interact with our federal government in terms of money getting pushed down in a reasonable amount of time. Or if there are folks in certain administration that are anti-public schools. Right? What does that mean for our local public schools in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia? And so for me, it's really important that we have government from the local, state, and federal level that's on the same page. And it's hard to do that when you have federal government that isn't really interested in the things that we're interested in here in Pennsylvania.
I am Pennsylvania State Representative Jordan Harris. I represent my neighbors in South and Southwest Philadelphia, in the 186th Legislative District. Point Breeze, Grades Ferry, Graduate Hospital, King Sessing are parts of my district. I represent my colleagues as the Majority Appropriations Chairman in the House of Representatives. Your voice is on the ballot in this sense. And I try to explain this to people. There will be a president, whether you vote or not. There will be members of Congress, the House and the Senate, whether you vote or not. There's going to be a governor. There's going to be members of the Pennsylvania General Assembly, whether you vote or not, right? The question that the election day answers is, will you have a say in who those people will be? We're going to have those folks, right? The question is, will you have a say in who they are? And why does that matter? Because when you have a say, you get to decide the values of that person that represents you. If you don't go to the polls to elect the person who shares your values, you have removed yourself and your voice from the conversation. In the House of Representatives right now, where I serve, there is a one-seat majority. Okay? That means that 2 years ago, at the ballot box, people went and they cast their votes for the 203 members of the House of Representatives all over Pennsylvania, and that there were more Democrats elected to the House of Representatives than there were Republicans. Because there were more Democrats elected than Republicans, Democrats control the House of Representatives in Pennsylvania. Now here's why that matters, okay? That one-seat majority that we have wasn't decided by 10,000 people. It was decided by a few hundred people in one seat in a county right outside of Philadelphia. Okay? But that one-seat majority means that all of the chairmen of all of the committees in the House are Democrats. That means that the Speaker of the House is a Democrat. That means the person that controls the agenda for the House is a Democrat. Okay? Just those few hundred people in that one district, in that one seat gave us control. That means instead of being the minority chair, I'm the majority chair. So when you look on the budget, I want you to look close to the budget. Look at last year's budget. The governor runs around, last year's budget is great. My name on the budget. That's my budget. That originates in my chamber. This year's budget, it's a Senate bill, but it was amended with my amendment that put $1.1 billion into public education. I want you to understand why this matters. And it wasn't just me, we worked with Vince, my leader, Matt Bradford, my speaker, Jordan Clinton, but the mechanics of how this thing happens, it happens and tilts our way and our interest when we show up and use our voice, which is our vote.
I'm here to tell you and to remind you and remind black people, brown people, women, young people, how much power you really have. You have all of the power. You don't think you have the power? People are spending billions of dollars trying to change all kinds of laws to stop you, us, from voting, from participating. If people are spending that kind of money, that must mean that what we got to offer is significant. Yeah. It's significant. Couple cases in point, an example. Anybody remember Jeff Sessions? Was a United States Senator before that, for the great state of Alabama. Jeff Sessions was only elected to the United States Senate, not just because Caucasian friends made a bad decision, but because black folks did not vote in that election, in those elections in Alabama. Those who chose not to vote at all were the majority, what was the difference in his victory. You think about that. It is the power that we have. We are actually talking about right now. You don't realize the power you got. You don't understand it. You don't appreciate it. You're not flexing like you need to flex. But let's be real clear. July 21st, 1:46 in the afternoon, Joe Biden sent out a tweet, or an X, whatever they call it, saying, I'm out. 15 minutes later, I'm down with Congress. That's what he said. At 7 o'clock, Sunday night, 45,000 black women were on the phone. No. Don't go for the applause line, because it ain't about that. You got to understand what was happening before that. Okay? The line jumping was about to occur before that. People were preparing themselves to say, well, what about Joe over here and Lou over there? Maybe they should be the option. Maybe somebody over here, maybe they should be the option, when clearly the sister as vice president was the option. But if you did not flex, we would not be in this conversation right now.